Hi everybody, it's Sarah at the Windham Public Library, and I'm here for November's Art Night In tutorial. This month we are doing a grab bag, so you can come and pick up most of your supplies at the library. You can come down into the circulation department, and we have these bags ready and available for you to pick up, and they're for adults 18 years and older. We are going to be making a bound journal using old catalog cards from the library and some cardstock and a nice Japanese binding technique that I will teach you in this video. Things that you'll need from home are either an awl or a hole puncher. I have an awl to poke my holes. Some clips, so you can use clothespins or you can use metal pins. That would work. A needle. I usually use a fairly big needle. And gosh, I think that's it, and some scissors. So we'll get started. I'm going to show you how to put all the pages together and things like that first, and then we'll get to the binding. The binding technique seems challenging, but it really isn't. It's an easy technique. So let's get started. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take out the pieces of paper that you have in your bag, and you're going to fold them in half. So one common mistake with making your own bound books is that people think that they need to cut each and every page this size to fit in, but actually you cut it twice as big and you fold it, and it helps secure the binding. So what you do is you put your folded sides together and you stack them on top of each other, and that's going to be part of your binding. This is going to be the book that opens. Now these are larger than your card catalogs. So what we'll do is we'll get that card catalog going, and we'll lie it. This is that folded side right here. We'll lie it flush with the top like that. Push it down so it's flush. And then we'll take the backing and we'll put it on the back so that it's flush like that. Once you get it to a place that you like, that's when you're going to clip it. Like that. And next is poking the holes. Now I only have 2 pieces of paper in here, and that was just to keep things short. I want to say I have about 20 in this one, which doubled makes 40 and front and back makes 80. So that's a lot of pages for your small journal. So you're going to, I like to draw my holes out ahead of time, and so that they're evenly spaced, which as you can see these are not. So it is helpful to use a pencil and to draw them out. The thing for this binding is that you need an even number of holes. So this one has 4. I did quite a few more on my final piece. I think the more you do, the more bound your book is. So with these 4, I'm just going to drill my hole. If you're using an awl and you're using it on a table surface, or you would want to have a rubber mat underneath so that you don't drill a hole through your table. And once it goes through all of it, then you move on to your next one. The clips help keep it together so that all the holes stay together. And what you'll do is you'll find yourself in this spot next, where all your holes came through the back and they're in the front. Now, before we start binding, we're going to want to trim at least the top off. You can always trim the other part later, but we're going to be binding along the ends and along the back. So we want to have that flush and even. Now the thread that I gave you in the grab and go bag is very, very strong, and it's this silver thread. Today I'm going to be using a lighter thread and a thicker thread so you can see it in the video, because the video can sometimes be tricky to see. So we're going to start going through the back, and we're not going to go through the first hole, we're going to go through the second hole. So if you have 10 holes, you're still going through the second hole from the right through the back. And here we go. You're going to pull it all the way through until you have just about that much at the end. That's good. And we're actually going to go around and through that hole again. So that is going to make the binding on the edge. Like that. Then we're going to move to our left and go down. Like that. And back up, around, and down again. You might have to stop the video, you might have to rewind the video. I did when I was watching mine, just to make sure that I got it correctly. And it is going to seem like we're skipping some spots, and what's amazing is on our way back we fill them all in. So right now our thread is coming out of the bottom, and we're going to go over and up through the last hole on our left. There we go. And we're going to go around and through it again. And that makes that nice edge right there. Then we're going to turn it and do it one more time. We're going to go around this way and through it one more time. And that's how we start our return to the other side. And that binds it on the end. So you see, this is what we have so far. So as we go back, you can see that some spots are missing. The whole end of this is missing. Spot here is missing. But as we go back, we fill that in. So we're going to go down, fill that one. Then if you look over here, we're going to go up through this hole and fill that one in. Then we're going to go down through this hole. And this is our last hole. And we're going to go around and down through it again. Then we're going to go around this end right here, turn it right around the end. I'm going to go down through it again. And now what is my favorite part of this binding technique is that we have filled in all the gaps and we have one little piece left. Oops. So if that happens, you can just stretch it over the end. There we go. You can straighten them out if you'd like that. And we have this one last space. So you can trim your thread and do a simple double square knot right here, and it fills the rest in. I think it really is a simple binding technique. It really is fun. You can trim your thread right there, smaller if you want to. And then you have that. That's the back, and there's the front. So you can take your paper clips or your metal clips or your clothespins off, and it's bound up now, and we can trim the rest of it. If you have a trimmer at home, a paper trimmer, those are really nice. They work really well. You might have to trim just a few cards at a time. You might not be able to trim all of them. The next thing that I like to do is either take a ruler or just your hand and kind of fold that right over nice and flat. Give it a good rub like this, and then fold it back and bend it. That way the cover doesn't stick up, but it does have that, you do have that ability to. Now, if you notice the differences between these two right here is that I put my holes really far in on this one, and that was just because I wanted to show you these lines, these threaded lines, but it leaves less space for writing in your journal. Whereas these, I poked them fairly close to the edge, and it gives you much more space for writing. I think these are great books for writing down book recommendations, books that you want to read, books that you have read, and just a million other things. They're so small, they're easy to keep in your pocket, and I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. So again, you can stop by the library, you can pick up a grab-and-go bag. We'll have them until the end of November, and I hope to see you soon. Take care.